The B&B Theater's location in downtown Kansas City closed its doors this week. Another sign of potential challenges facing movie theaters across the country. Our Kansas City reporter Grant Stevens joins us live from downtown with what this means for Kansas City's overall movie scene. Good morning, Grant.
Yeah, good morning. I've actually been chatting with a lot of people over the last few days about these closed doors, and for a lot of the people here, they say this is a pretty bitter moment for them. They're sad to see one of the theaters downtown close. B&B told me in a statement that they routinely review the theaters in their circuit and that they make the decisions based on what will best strengthen the company going forward. They told me after thoughtful review, they made the decision to exit this location. They also say that they encourage you to continue enjoying the B&B experience at other Kansas City locations. And one of the people I've been talking to told me that the theater industry in Kansas City maybe has been walking a fine line for years. So while any closure brings some bitterness, it may actually bring some hope to the theaters that remain.
Another marquee has gone dark in Kansas City. Adam Roberts, the owner of another theater, Screenland Armor, says it's a scene in a story that's been playing out for years.
Honestly, it's not too surprising. In 2026, more theaters are closing than opening. That location has historically always been somewhat difficult.
Kansas City has a rich cinema history, but Roberts says it's always been a market with more screens than it can handle.
The asterisk there is that we're a small market with a ton of screens for the size of our city. So it never really was sustainable long term for us to have a theater a stone's thrown away from the other theater. Less competition is good for all the other theaters, honestly.
So bittersweet is kind of the flavor of this story, maybe.
Yeah, bittersweet, of course. I mean, any theater closing isn't good. I've closed theaters too. It's not exciting to close a theater, but you do have to look on the bright side that we're still here, they're still here. They didn't close their whole business. They closed a location.
For years, Americans have moved away from regular theater going. With pandemic shutdowns, Hollywood strikes, streaming convenience, and franchise fatigue breaking that once steady habit of seeing movies on the big screen. However,
in the last year, our biggest growth has been Gen Z. We had to look at Gen Z and hope they were going to be interested. And for us, they really have been in all types of cinema, and that's really good. But I think the reason they're interested is those analog experiences, is that they can find community outside of a keyboard, and that's really important.
And even without a downtown option,
if you're downtown and you're like, I feel like I have nowhere to go, just know that 10 minutes away, either south or north, there are locations that will gladly accept you and need you to come.
I wanted to put some numbers to that Gen Z thing he mentioned. And Cinema United, which tracks cinema stats across the country, they found that last year, Gen Z accounted for a 25% increase in moviegoing. So that age cohort is really starting to go back to the theaters, and he would want to see more people do that. And more people might. This year, theater owners are excited because there are more good movies coming out that'll be coming out to their screens. So maybe a little bit of a resurgence in 2026.
I mean, we are all craving things to go do together. Love that. Why not go to the movies? Grant, thank you very much. Grant covers consumer stories and stories in Kansas City for us. So if you have a story idea for him, scan the QR code on your screen, reach out to him at grant.stevens@kshb.com.